What's going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today, we're going to be talking about Aterian or ATER. Give you guys the update because it's down another 3% today. So we'll be letting you guys know if this play is done, what we can be seeing in the near future, whether it's time to buy, sell, or just hold your shares for the big time short squeeze. However, nothing here is financial advice, so make sure you're only playing with money that you are willing to lose, because everything is super risky, especially when you're dealing with a highly shorted stock. Anyways, if you guys want to join Hootmoney trade alerts, we've been absolutely killing it. We bought in on RDBX at the low yesterday at 210, and that ran over 80%. We also loaded up on SPY puts, which I unfortunately sold a little early, but that also ran about 900%. So it was an absolutely insane trading day for Hootmoney trade alerts, and you guys can join it using the first link in the description down below. Description, I just said description. Anyways, my friends, let's get right into the video. All right, so first things first, we're going to give an update on the Wyckoff distribution pattern. ATER is currently, I guess it's still currently in it, but it did in fact complete that pattern. Essentially what we are seeing here is a textbook distribution pattern, and you guys have to be aware of these, because usually when it's in a Wyckoff like schematic, it either means that it's going to see intense upside or intense downside, and in the case of ATER, it is showing intense downside. And honestly, the only real indication of whether or not you're going to start seeing intense upside or intense downside from this type of pattern is from this price action right here. We're looking at over the past week of price action. However, this key inflection point did in fact occur during a very small window of about 3 hours towards the market open on 419. So if we're just looking at the Wyckoff distribution schematic, essentially what we're going to be looking at is the UTAD, or the testing point after the breakout. So when it goes back and it tests the old resistance level as a support level, it should bounce, and if it bounces, it should see some more upside. However, if it breaks down and it gives up that resistance level as a support level, then it typically means it sees more downside, and then it gives up the old support levels as well. So this is a very classic distribution pattern, because as you guys can see, it gave up the resistance level as a support level and it saw much more downside, and it's now even looking like it is forming somewhat of a downtrend. As you guys can see, it is coming down right there, and on market Cipher, it's saying the exact same thing. It's actually been oscillating around here on the hourly chart between a red dot signal, which means bearish continuation of the previous trend, and a blood diamond. So I've actually seen the blood diamond pop in there. Typically with market Cipher, it doesn't actually confirm the signal until the end of the candle, so it'll be changing essentially intermittently until it closes the candle and moves on to the next candle. So ATER, believe it or not, found support at 420, which was the 62% fib level. I'll draw it in right here. It's actually back in white. We'll change that to yellow. But as you guys can see, use this support level that it found all the way back here. So this could potentially mean that it continues to go up, but as you guys can see, it got rejected right here at, this is the 50% level at 478. So it's probably going to come back down to 423, and then it'll make its next decision on whether or not it bounces off this fib level or comes right back up. If we are looking at the 4-hour chart, it is showing that it's likely to see a bounce. As you guys can see, the Heikin-Ashi candle has turned green, meaning that the momentum is back on the bullish direction after it's seen some pain, and there is likely going to be a VWAP crossover or a blue wave green dot, which is essentially the green dot signal that you're seeing right back here, but now it's on the oversold side, so that's typically a more significant signal. Now, since the 1-hour chart and the 4-hour chart are somewhat showing conflicting signals right here. I want to take a look at the 2-hour and 3-hour chart. 2-hour chart is showing a very similar signal to the 1-hour chart with the VWAP pointing down, but it has not quite gotten that red dot as of yet. And then the 3-hour chart right here did get its buy signal already. However, the VWAP right here is pointing flat. So I'm going to stick with my original assumption that it is going to come back down and retest the yellow fib level at 420. I'd like to quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo, a licensed FINRA broker that does absolutely zero payment for order flow. They're running a promotion where you deposit $1 on their platform using the second link in the description or first link in the pinned comment section. You can get up to $7,000 in free stock. It's an absolute amazing promotion. They also give away free level 2 data. Every other exchange makes you pay for it. Moomoo gives it away for free. And in addition to all of that, if you deposit $2,000 on their platform, you can get an additional 3 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So it's an absolutely fantastic brokerage promotion, and you can only get it with the links below in the description or pinned comment section. So check that out if you guys wish, but let's get right back into the video. All right, so in terms of short interest, it's up another 1.69% as of today. We're on the threshold list, and there was another 1.42 million borrowed shares. Where were those borrowed shares from? I can't really tell you. I don't even know if they exist. Here on Fintel, it is still the #1 short squeeze score, but typically speaking, that does not mean too much, because if the stock does not short squeeze, and they usually don't actually short squeeze, that does pose some downside risk, because it means the stock has already been running, and it is number 80 on the Gamma Squeeze leaderboard, and there are plenty of contracts that have open interest, although a significant sum are going to be expiring as of this week. They mentioned that there's 30,000 shares available to be shorted. Not 100% sure where that's coming from. Here you guys can see the FINRA short volume ratio. It's been pretty much over 50% every day besides for yesterday. So yesterday it was actually down pretty significantly. But if we're just looking at these short exempts, which it's essentially naked shorting, right? Because they're not coming up with the share. They're essentially shorting the share, and they're exempted from having to essentially deliver that share right away. So these are essentially all naked shorts, and there's been well over 3 million of them over the past 2 weeks, which is absolutely insane. And that's on top of their short interest of about 10 million shares. So those all need to be covered within 6 days of them occurring. So this will likely induce additional buying pressure. However, it also means market makers are going to be more likely to try to manipulate the thing down so they can cover it for less than they sold it for. Moving into the unusual whales flow, it's very similar to what we were seeing yesterday. There are tons of big bets, nothing really over $100,000 like we were seeing the other day, or even $200,000, and overall volume has been down as well, but it is 73% bullish, as you guys can see right there, and they're going for 520 expiration and the $5 strike price. So this play is not over by any means. I mean, there's still definitely a lot of options activity, and people are trying to capitalize off of that dip. If we're just looking at the buying and selling of call options only instead of puts, you can get an idea of what people that have a long position are doing. Are they adding to it? Are they selling? And it is roughly 50-50. The daily flow breakdown, we still have 55 minutes left in the market open. However, there is significantly less call option volume as of today, especially compared to yesterday. So I don't think it will be as high. So on these down days, on these slow boring days, typically call volume does come down, as well as implied volatility, and that does present a buying opportunity if the stock ends up rallying in the near future. Max Payne for April 22nd, which is tomorrow, is at $4.50, and Ater is trading at $4.50 as of right now. If we're looking at 520, there is some upside from the Max Payne figure, because that is at $5 per share, and that's the next big monthly expiration. Here are the implied volatility skews. You guys can see all of the others, even the 429 has a significantly less volatility skew than the 422. And yes, you could make a killing off of these 422s because you're paying the least amount of premium in terms of time decay, but that also means you have the least amount of time to actually make the get the movement in the stock. So if you're trying to go in and out for a quick scalp, sure, go for that weekly call option. But if you're actually trying to capitalize off this thing squeezing, the weekly call options are really just a very unintelligent type of play, because you're paying the most amount of money in terms of implied volatility, and then you also have the least amount of time. Here's the gamma ramp / gamma exposure for you guys. Understand how this works. Every time it comes across this purple value being positive, it adds buying pressure from market makers as they are hedging their positions. So the biggest gamma ramps are gonna be at $4.50 and $5. So this is the region where there's gonna be the most volatility overall, because the gamma hedging happens in both directions. Obviously, if it goes up above 450, there's gonna be hedging on the buy side, but if it goes below 450, it's gonna be hedging on the downside. So these two levels are definitely two that you should be paying attention for, and I honestly think ATER will be oscillating between those two figures. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the update. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, drop a like on the video if you guys did. Subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. Check out Moomoo if you want up to $7,000 in free stock, as long as you deposit $1 on their platform, only by using the links below in the description or pinned comment section. And if you want Hootmoney trade alerts, you can get the plays. We got in early on the runner red box that moved upwards of 80% as of earlier today. It's down a little bit from that, but I'm still holding for some more upside on that play. And then also we had some SPY puts that ran literally 1,000%. I sold that one early. I'm feeling the FOMO, but the call was there, the directional sentiment was there, and those puts did in fact run 1,000%. So you can check out Hootmoney trade alerts using that first link in the description down below. But with all that being said, that's about it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, but I'll be seeing you guys next time.